When I met Ryan, he had that calm confidence, that dangerous charm only married men seem to have. I knew he wasn't mine, but he said his marriage was dead, that he was just pretending for appearances. So I looked away, and I loved him anyway. For a year, we lived in secrecy, quiet hotels, distant cafes, stolen hours. He used to whisper, "You're my escape, my air." And I believed him. One night, he showed up unannounced. We didn't have protection. He said it was fine, "I trust you." The next morning, he handed me an envelope full of cash. "Buy something to avoid trouble," he said. I took the money, but my bills were piling up, my car was dying, and rent was overdue. So, I made a choice. I paid my debts. I told myself nothing would happen, that it was just one night. But destiny has a strange sense of humor. A few weeks later, I felt different. Tired, nauseous. And when that test turned positive, my world flipped upside down. I still remember that day. The sky was gray, heavy. I called Ryan, my voice shaking. "I'm pregnant." Silence. Long cold. Then he sighed. "You're kidding, right?" I wasn't. A few hours later, he showed up at my place. He didn't sit. He didn't even look around. He just pulled out another thick envelope. "You know what to do." My chest tightened. He wanted me to get rid of it. He spoke like it was a routine, like it wasn't his child, our story. I took the money quietly, but deep inside, I knew I couldn't do it. That baby was maybe the only real thing between us. So I kept my secret. I used the money to pay my bills, and I prepared for a new life he'd never be part of. Each day my belly grew, and my heart learned what courage really meant. When Ethan was born, I finally understood love. He had Ryan's eyes, that same pale blue. The nurses thought I was married. I didn't correct them. I just smiled weakly. Months passed between diapers, sleepless nights, and unpaid bills. Sometimes, I'd text Ryan, not for me, for Ethan. He deserves to know his father. No answer. Until one day. "Don't ever contact me again." I cried the whole night. But something changed inside me after that. I wasn't the fragile mistress anymore. I was a mother, and I held a truth he wanted to bury. Months later, I saw him at a mall, laughing, holding his wife's hand. Our eyes met. He froze, then looked away. That day, I made a promise. My son would never live in someone else's shadow. If Ryan refused to be a father, he'd learn what abandonment really costs. I waited. 1 year, then 2. Ryan never called. So one night, I texted, "If you don't want to be in his life, I'll tell your wife." 10 minutes later, my phone rang. His voice shook. "Don't do this. You don't know what you're risking." "I have nothing to lose," I said. 2 days later, someone knocked on my door. An elegant older woman. "I'm Ryan's aunt." Her tone was calm, but sharp. "Ryan doesn't want a scandal. He'll take care of things, financially." She placed an envelope on the table. $10,000 a month for the child. "But neither you nor the boy will ever be part of Ryan's life." I froze. Money, for silence, for erasure. I looked at Ethan playing with his toys, and rage filled my chest. They wanted to buy the right to ignore him. "My son won't be a secret," I said softly. She smiled. "Then be ready to pay the price." After that visit, everything changed. Anonymous calls, letters in my mailbox. Words like liar, gold digger. Ryan wanted to make me disappear. I stayed silent, for Ethan. But every time he asked, "Mom, where's my dad?" my heart broke again. One night, I snapped. I opened my laptop and began collecting everything. The transfers, the messages, the pictures. I didn't know yet what I'd do, but I knew someday, truth would speak louder than money. Weeks later, I got a letter from his lawyer. Ryan was suing me for defamation. He wanted to silence me, again. I laughed. He had no idea who I'd become. This time, I wasn't afraid. I had proof, and I had a mother's fury. The court case hadn't started yet, but the war had already begun, and this time, I was leading it. The day of the trial, I was nervous, but calm. Ryan stood tall, wearing confidence like armor. His lawyer went first, calling me manipulative, a woman trying to destroy a happy family. I clenched my fists. Then my attorney spoke. One by one, the evidence appeared. Messages, money transfers, photos. The room fell silent. Ryan couldn't look at me, but his wife did, eyes wet, trembling. I realized then, truth hurts more than exposure. The judge paused the session. In the hallway, Ryan approached me. "Why are you doing this?" "Because our son deserves a name, not an envelope." He looked at me, defeated, then walked away. That night, I knew everything had shifted. I wasn't his secret anymore. I was his reckoning. The media exploded. Headlines screamed, "Businessman accused of hiding a secret child." I hadn't spoken to anyone, but someone had. Ryan lost contracts, friends, and his reputation. Hate flooded my inbox, but also messages of support. Women wrote to me, "Thank you for being brave." I wish I had, but I didn't feel victorious. I just wanted my son to have a father. Then came a letter, a court-ordered DNA test. I agreed. 3 weeks later, 99.9%. Ethan was his. Ryan's world collapsed. His wife left him, his face was everywhere, and then he vanished. I thought it was over. But fate wasn't done yet. His fall was only beginning. 3 months later, I got a call. It was his brother. "Ryan wants to see you." I hesitated, but went. He waited in a small, empty cafe, thinner, older, broken. When he saw me, he whispered, "I hurt you. I hurt both of you." He slid a photo of Ethan across the table. "He looks just like me." I stayed silent. "I want to see him," he said. Not in secret, not hiding. Tears burned my eyes. I had begged for this moment, and now I feared it. "Do you think he'll want me?" "That's up to you," I whispered. He nodded, regret heavy in his eyes. For the first time, I saw a man, not a coward. But forgiveness has its price, and he was about to learn it. Ryan started visiting, slowly. Every other Saturday. Ethan asked, "Who's that man?" "Someone learning how to love you," I said. At first, Ryan brought expensive toys, trying to buy affection. But Ethan wanted time, not gifts. He showed him his drawings, his favorite books. And Ryan listened, really listened. One day, as they laughed on the floor, he looked at me and whispered, "I should have been here from day one." I said nothing. Months passed, and Ethan called him Dad. That one word erased years of pain. Ryan was changing, for real. But life always has one last twist. One night, his voice trembled on the phone. "I've been in an accident. Please come." And in that moment, fear replaced all my anger. When I reached the hospital, the smell of disinfectant hit me. Ryan lay pale, motionless, tubes everywhere. The doctors called it a miracle he was alive. He'd lost control of his car after a sudden collapse. 3 days, no movement. I came every day, holding Ethan's hand. He'd whisper to his sleeping father, "Daddy, wake up. I drew you a truck." Even the nurses cried sometimes. Then one morning, Ryan opened his eyes. He smiled weakly, looked at me. "Thank you for staying." I said, "I didn't stay for you. I stayed for him." But deep down, I knew it was a lie. He recovered slowly, sold his business, moved nearby. For once, he was simply at peace. But the past never truly dies, and his was about to return. One quiet evening, I got an anonymous call. "You think he's changed?" "Think again." I hung up, but my heart raced. Days later, a woman came to my door. Dark hair, cold eyes. "I'm Ryan's ex-wife," she said. She wasn't angry. She was warning me. "He's done it again." Another woman, another child. My body froze. She showed me photos, recent ones. The same lies, the same pattern. I felt sick. When I confronted him, he tried to deny, then dropped his head. "I'm sorry. I'm just afraid of being alone." This time, there was no forgiveness left. I looked at him, empty, calm. "Then stay alone." I walked away, and for the first time, it didn't hurt. Because I wasn't a victim anymore. I was his ending. Years passed. Ethan grew strong, smart, kind. People say he looks like me. Ryan disappeared. One day, a letter came, his handwriting. I never learned how to love right. But you taught me truth. "Tell Ethan I love him." No return address. Just a shaky signature. I cried, not for him, but for what could have been. Today, I tell my story so others will know. A child doesn't need a perfect father, just a brave mother. Ryan left me alone, yes, but he also gave me a reason to fight. Ethan is my victory, and every time he says, "I love you, Mom," I know I lost nothing. I just learned. The price of silence was high, but the price of peace was worth everything.